Well, I want to thank you all for being here today. I very much appreciate you coming once again, as particularly my colleague from New York, Assemblywoman Williams. We're from different parties, but common sense is common sense. And this is an issue of public safety for the people of Brooklyn, of Queens, of Staten Island, Bronx and Manhattan. And we, as you know, Mr. Chairman, know that we have roughly 200,000 migrants in New York City. We don't know the exact number because the city shields this information from us. But what we do know is just last week, a Venezuelan migrant who is a known gang member shot 2 NYPD officers. In fact, it happened in the district of somebody in this committee. This person crossed into this country illegally from Texas in July, and his asylum case was dismissed by a Chicago court, and he's been living at a migrant shelter in New York City in Queens. It's completely outrageous that we have a policy in place by this administration allowing people who are gang members, drug traffickers, criminals to enter into our country, and then on top of it, you're asking the residents of New York, the hardworking taxpayers, to pay for them to be housed in their communities, living free. They're living in these shelters. Some of them are luxury hotels that have turned into shelters. Some are national parks that have been turned into shelter, as is the issue that we're discussing today, Floyd Bennett Field. I want to highlight some of the concerns from the media, from individuals that have spoken to the media about spikes in robberies, that there have been arrests, crimes, concerns. We know that there's been panhandling, shoplifting. As a matter of fact, I pulled up some of the stats for the precinct in which Floyd Bennett Field is, and robbery is up over last year 35%. Car thefts are up 51%. Larceny up 29, so nearly 30%. Retail theft, which is a concern that the Assemblywoman expressed to me, up 60%. And then you have assaults that are up roughly 50%, hate crimes up 500%. It's just, and I've had a hard time, my first question is to the Assemblywoman, because I've had a hard time getting the actual statistics of people who are committing crimes that reside in the shelters. We know there were there were thousands of arrests. We know that much because when some of the media finally got to the numbers. Do you have any of that information, or is the city stonewalling you as well? Because I put in a FOIL request to get this data when I found out that there were thousands of arrests already made of migrants living in our city. And then when we saw the police officers being assaulted in Times Square, shot in Queens, multiple stabbings that have resulted in death, all right?